What's happening, YouTube? I hope you guys are well. So we have some changes coming up for this season. So my initial plan for the season was that the main race will be end of July, Lake Placid. It's a fantastic race. I think it ticked all the boxes for me for my first pro season. First of all, it's USA. It has great atmosphere always. It's a course that suits me. It's a strength-based course on a bike and run. So it's a very honest race. And one of my strengths will be definitely bike in long course triathlon. And if you choose races that are completely flat, let's say I'm in Italy or something, even if Cameron Worth is in the front and rides, let's say 340 watts or something like that, if you're in fifth place and your ability is only to do, let's say 270, you will be able to ride with those guys. So avoid courses that are not for you, horses for courses. So I was really excited about that. So unfortunately I have to make changes now to the season due to the simple fact you have to look objectively and rationally to it as well, which stung quite a lot to change the season plan. So my first plan was to have the first one in Poland, 70.3, and then have, like I said, Lake Placid Ironman end of July. That was the first plan of the season. So yeah, January I literally had 6 weeks of sickness. Never in my life have I been that sick. Of course, you have to right away put the mirror in front of you and say, okay, is that due to the fact that I either trained too hard? Did I do something wrong? That's obviously the first one. You have to be accountable 100%. We looked at it in detail with the coach as well. And yeah, there was literally nothing that we could say, okay, there we could have done something different. We are in contact and we do mostly like three day blocks ahead. So nothing like drastic. And we did really well. So I just caught a bug like in the airplane, and that's just sometimes happens. In Europe, all the top guys, many people are sick here. So yeah, it's not the same as pre-COVID, right? You probably know if you're living in Europe, a lot of people are sick and just get all kinds of weird viral things. And I got that, right? So you can't change that fact. So due to that, I have to now change the season, which sucks because, to be honest, as a first year pro, right, you want as many chances as you can to race and have a chance to have a result. So Ironman racing, you know what it is. If you have one race, it's a one-day event. It could be either just an off day. You could, like, again, get sick before, like so many in the last year. Those are the things that can happen. So when it comes to season changes now, you think probably from the outside objectively, okay, this is not so bad, just mix up your season. But you have to think about it a little bit like, this is literally like all I do now. This is like, I'm 100% in. My whole day revolves of it. I'm sacrificing everything I have, literally everything. The life you live if you're really high level dedicated, which I want to be, right? Like basically the Christians out there, the Gustavs out there, and the Enfrodenos, there are maybe a handful that are all the way in, which you can see objectively, I would say, and they get the results over time, right? Because that's the thing, you can't just be all in for 1 year or something. And a lot of people who are not all in and are just 80% all in, and they are 3 years down the road in the business and they still wonder why they can't swim. They still wonder why everybody runs 235 and you run 245 still for the last 5 years. So those things come with sacrifices, dedication, and being all in. And if you're not willing to go to these places, then you're just not gonna cut it, right? So either you are all in and do absolutely everything, or you're not. The life you're living as an athlete, if you're really 100% all in, and those are the guys you can listen to in podcasts that are gold medalists, or like the guys that are like the Michael Phelps, like those really uber achievers. When you listen to them, like, how do they live their life on a day-to-day basis in order to have a chance even to just do the performances on that day? The life they live is extremely lonely, not just that, but it's not a normal life. You have to understand from the outside, from Instagram, maybe it looks like, okay, here then the sun, cycling, having coffee and cake. Okay, those are the highlights I want to put and also lift them up. But most of them, it's extremely tough, disciplined life. Your whole day, I know you heard this before, I heard this before when you're an age grouper, and it's something that I want to do, obviously, and I love it. But you just gotta be knowing that, okay, this is not a normal life. In order to have a completely balanced normal life, those are different aspects. You cut significantly parts out of what is a normal balanced life in order to execute and have one thing in greatness. And I knew that before. I knew that from business. This is the only way you're gonna do it. Or anything you achieve, anything you want to do, if you want to be a writer, an entrepreneur, if you want to achieve something and really get everything out, or be the best student, be the best everything, if you want to really get everything out of that next exam, that next meeting, that next everything, you just got to evolve your whole day around that. That's just simple as that. Like, you got to cut out things that you maybe want to do, you got to say no a lot, but then again, it's a fine line, right? Because health Health is a complicated topic, and to health also comes mental health. So you got to find that balance between what gives you back the energy, what is a mental aid station that can recharge you, get you back, so you're not feeling like you're draining each week more. Because when you're doing that, then you can't be consistent. So what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna adjust my season to that I will have my first still half distances in June, July, and then again August as well. But in terms of having 2 chances at a full Ironman this year, I'll probably only get 1 due to the sickness early on. So there will be a late season race and probably be Ironman Portugal. And yeah, I think tactically in Ironman you only have 1 chance to choose, and that is kind of choosing before the race. I think tactically a big one is choosing the event. So one from the course wise, that's a good tactic. Okay, does this course suit you, your strength, the climate, all of those things? And then secondly, the timing. Does it fit perfectly in your training plan? When you look, for example, at Jan Frodeno's training plan, it's really nicely set up. There are no risks. There are no back-to-back half distances. There's like a month later, he can train, recover. Yeah, pros and cons again, right? So like I said, if you have less races, I'll probably have 3-4 races this year. It's just less chances of doing well, getting good results. And again, if you do Ironman Portugal, every single high-level top 10 contender from Europe will most likely be there to snatch a spot for Kona late in the season. And yeah, that's just what it's gonna be. But in the end, you can just focus on yourself, right? So this is my journey. This is how I can optimize the season. I'm gonna choose still the course of Portugal because it's gonna be a hilly ride still. There are some hills in there. It's gonna be a strength run. And the climate is also something, it still might be hot and humid. So you need to specifically prepare for that. And if people are tired in late season, but yeah, you can just do the absolute best, give your absolute best, and then let's see what the outcome is. And you also gotta be realistic, right? This is the first year of a new venture. Yes, I did triathlon before, but the level between age group and pro, especially nowadays, is obviously 40% performance difference. So you're not gonna catch up in 1 year, right? You're just gonna make sure that you're in this for the long run, which I know, and still do every single day the best you can. In order to really be high-end competitive, it's gonna take probably 2 years for sure. So if you're not willing to get your head kicked in the meantime a little bit and accept results that will be a top 10 or something without your ego crying at you because you're used to maybe doing it better and you see the differences, then you again compare, and comparison's the killer of all joy. So gotta focus on your own journey, your own decisions, and still be all in, because I am in the sport to win Kona, right? I mean, I'm not leaving everything behind to not have a shot at winning Kona. I'm more on the side of like the Craig Alexanders, because yeah, it's not gonna happen in the next 2 years, but let's say 5-6 years down the road, if you keep it like that, I definitely have a shot. And that's all you want, is a shot, right? Are you physically able to swim, bike and run? The numbers objectively, are you even able to get there? Because I've been doing this now for 6 months, and if I haven't seen the progression in training that you see, okay, there are glimpses of something really like, okay, this is not even remotely age group level anymore. This is something like you can definitely be one of the best in the world if you stick with it. If I wouldn't have seen those glimpses, also my coach, then I mean, I'm sorry, who are you kidding? Like, what are you doing here? So this is just a short little check-in for you guys, so you also know what's going on. It's not always easy, but it's compared to the problems in the world, it's obviously a joke. So you just gotta stick to it, roll with the punches. That's part of life, and keep going.